one is, you know, just thinking before you're actually making the meal. Is this going to be easy to track? You know, is this soup recipe even feasible for me to get to the serving size? And your health coach can help you. So if you just send them all your ingredients, they can, you know, spit out a label for you. So they can send that to you. So that's another option.
Oh.
Yeah, so we use a program. Well, we use a program called MyFitnessPal, usually to calculate those, and you can just type in all the ingredients, and it will give you your serving size label pretty much. So that's you guys. Maybe it's
The actual recipe, like half
Yep.
cup this, okay.
Yep, the whole thing.
And is that available like?
It's for free.
Yeah, on the web.
Yep, it's on the web. And I'm actually going to send out an email with all of the food you're eating today, all the recipes, all the food labels, and this MyFitnessPal. So if you have anything for the holiday, that can help you.
Doesn't King Calorie do it too? They do
Calorie
it.
King, yeah.
Calorie King.
Yep.
Do you have access to a computer? If you put nutritional value for something that you want to eat, it'll come up right like that and tell you what it is.
And I think the website is on, yeah, that's related to your book. So that's the same website as this book that they use. I'm not sure about calorie king.
And they'll bring up the restaurants too. They'll
Yeah.
print out everything that's on the
I
menu.
thought someone had said not last week, or something about Calorie King was online, but they wanted you to subscribe.
Okay, I'll check on it for you guys.
I get things from them all the time.
Were you able to stay within your calorie or fat budget this week? Did you have any issues with that? Sometimes. Do you think it was eating out, or do you think it
Well,
was?
I know that one of the days I ate out, I definitely do.
Okay. Okay, and that's why we're gonna go through that today. What about including physical activity? Did anybody have any issues with that? Everyone's
getting colder, I am.
You are, it's getting colder, bundling up a little bit. I know it's annoying, but I know that people are starting to walk inside, so we do have some people walking at the malls or places like that, so it's not as cold outside. I know getting to a mall or something might be an issue too, but even a local church like here or anywhere. So the last session was problem solving. I believe it was Megan who taught, and she went through an action plan. So you had a problem, and then you worked through that action plan to get to a solution. So did anybody have one that they wanted to share today? You took them? Okay. Okay, so one of the issues we had, you know, is going out to a restaurant. I read through a couple of them, going out to a restaurant and trying to really overcome their unhealthy options, I guess. So what another person did was they ate before they actually went to the restaurant, just a small snack, which actually led to them eating less at the restaurant. So that was one that I read through. I don't know if it was at this site or not. But they actually went through and added, like, you know, they did this differently versus this. So, you know, they added in crackers before they went, so then they didn't eat as much. They also said looking at the menu before the going might be helpful, so then they don't choose an unhealthy option or the special, like pumpkin pie right now. I know it's a big kick. And I want you guys to raise your hand if you ate every single meal at home since you started the program. Yeah, I didn't think anybody would raise their hand, including our health coaches, Senator Sierra and Juliana. So if you could name some places that you normally eat out at. So it could be a friend's house, it could be a fast food restaurant, a local chain, or it could be a local restaurant. So I'm just trying to see where you guys usually eat.
Wendy's.
Wendy's? Bob Evans? Soho's? Which Soho's? Is that a pasta?
It's not a pop-up, it's,
Oh, no.
it's
I like the texture.
Okay. Okay.
We eat a lot from the community center.
Community
They
center?
have their senior dinners every day.
Okay, so they choose your meal there? Okay. Okay, so the two options I have today, you guys haven't mentioned that today, but we're gonna do an activity with Chili's and Bob Evans today. So I know that you guys should all be acclimated to what those restaurants are, if they're local American chains. Do you guys usually find it easier to stay within your fat and calorie budget when you're eating out or when you're at home? So, home. And that's what we're figuring from you guys, and I just want to go through like some tips basically when you're going to eat out, what you can do differently. And today, like I said, it's going to be a session of eating out, and we want to start with an activity. So I haven't given you your session packets. You will get them, I promise. So half of you are going to have Bob Evans, and half of you are going to have Chili's. And what you're going to do is choose the option that you would normally eat, and that is going to be a beverage. You have to pick a beverage. You have to pick a meal, and then if you usually get an appetizer or dessert, choose those as well. And I'll give you a blank sheet of paper.
I don't know where I am doing this.
You got a blank sheet of paper. Don't read the other side. Yeah, there's something on the other side, just don't read it. It's left or right. If you can look through. Yeah. And you guys might not have ate at this place, but just choose something that you would normally eat somewhere else. You're okay. It's okay. Thank you. So you're going to take about 5 minutes and just pick something.
Just have something on the menu.
Yeah, pick something off the menu. A beverage and a meal for sure. And then if you usually pick an appetizer and a dessert, pick those if you normally do only. And we'll be around to help you guys choose if you don't know what you want or have a question about the menu.
I'm eating right in front of the camera.
Do you want a Bob Evans? Okay. If you guys don't like the place you're eating at, I have extras of the other one.
I'll take her Chili's and she can have my Bob Evans.
Okay. Anybody else? Which one do you want? Bob Evans? You want Bob Evans? Yeah. It's a fine. He said he doesn't really want to. Yeah. And there's no calorie budget, so don't look at your calorie books. Just choose something randomly that you would normally eat. You guys can sit down.
So Samantha, you said you will be sending us the recipes for all this?
Yep.
Okay.
Because not all the health coaches brought enough copies for everyone, so I'll just send them out. I think the beverages are usually in the back, but I know for the Chili's one, there's the back. Okay. I guess yeah, chili.
Is this the most restaurant you would go to?
Yeah.
Or this is Chili's? Okay, so just.
These are the specials. They have like regular. So right here, it's really little, but I put it on.
Just what you not.
But you can read it.
Just what you like, with Chili's. No, this is what I thought. Yeah.
You're getting there. You got something?
I had one.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
All right, guys. We're gonna come back to the option that you chose after I go through some of the lecture, and you're gonna think a little bit more clearly, hopefully, on your next option. So, I'm going to go ahead and pass out the session handout. You'll see on the first page, there is 4 keys to eating out, or healthy eating out. The first one is plan ahead. So we want you guys to call ahead and see if they have a low fat or low calorie option, or look online if you have access to internet. Another thing you can do is, carefully select where you're going to eat. So if you know this place, or you know that your friends want to go to a particular restaurant, but they don't have low fat or low calorie options, you could always, choose a new place to go, or find something that better fits your needs. We also can have you guys think about eating less or fewer calories during the day. So if you know that you're going to go eat out, just try to have less calories during your breakfast and lunch, and then you can always eat a little bit more during your dinner portion to add up to your full total of your calorie options. Another thing you can do is you can eat a healthy snack before you go. Like I said, crackers or even nuts or anything that you'd like to eat before you go. So then you don't eat as much while you're sitting at your meal. And then you also don't have to order the appetizer, which that's why I said if you order an appetizer, put it down just so that we can help you work through that. Another thing is you can plan to order what you want before you actually go. So you don't even look at the menu that I gave you today. And you actually just write it down, you know you're ordering it, you have nothing luring you to one of their specials or anything else. Another thing you can do is drink a glass of water, or even don't drink alcohol before you start eating. So have that as your dessert, possibly a glass of wine for dessert instead of drinking that before you order, so then that doesn't lure your appetite in a different direction, or you might eat more because you're drinking alcohol. For dinner and parties, you can bring a healthy or low calorie or low fat option. So you don't have to rely on them having something healthy for you. Or, dressings especially. I know we have a really good option for dressing today over there. That dressing might just be your killer of your calories for the day. So you could just bring a low fat dressing just so then you know that you have that option. For number 2 on the first page, so you just need to not be afraid to ask for what you want. You can be firm and friendly when you do this. Ask for foods like low fat, low calorie options. You can ask for your foods to be cooked in a different way. So if you always go to this restaurant and they always have this chicken sandwich that has fried, it's fried, it has like mayo on it, bacon and everything, just ask them to bake it that day, or ask them to leave off the mayo. You can do that. Another thing is order your salad dressings, gravies, anything on the side. That could be an option. And then you can put your own portion on your sandwich rather than it being covered. Sometimes they're so covered that you can't even eat them yourself, and then you have a mess. Another thing is don't be afraid to ask for items that aren't on the menu. If they do have items like a chicken, a turkey, anything, you can ask them to be cooked in a certain way. And don't be afraid to do that, because that's what they're there for. They have special cooks in their kitchen. I know fast food restaurants is a little bit harder, but at least local chain restaurants, they want to be loyal to their customers. Another thing you can do is ask for less cheese or no cheese on your sandwiches. There's a lot of hidden calories in cheese. You can get less cheese, not no cheese. You also can split your main dish with somebody. So if you have a spouse or a family member, you can buy one dish and split it. Like I know for sure, Steve has mentioned Soho's. They have really big pasta dishes. Maybe just get one portion and split it. Or you can have them, package it up, half of it, as soon as you go in. So they'll serve you half and you can take home half right away. Another thing is you can order a smaller size. So for sure at fast food restaurants, you really want to think about, like they say, do you want a biggie size this, or do you want to have a larger size? Just say no, I'll stay at the regular, or you can even ask for the smaller size, which is kind of helpful once in a while, or the children's size. They're not against the children's size, but they shouldn't be. So if you move to page 2, this is what I said about asking for what you want. So you really want to start your statements with I. So I would like to have this baked instead of fried, or whatever terminology you want to use, but I would start with saying I want this, rather than saying you need to do this. So you don't want to make them angry or anything, but you want them to help you. So don't be wishy-washy. I know that term's a little weird, but they don't want you to say like, I guess you could do this, because most likely they're not going to do it for you. Just say, could you please do this for me instead? You can also say, this looks really good, but I actually ordered it a different way. So like, say that you have already ordered it baked, but they brought it out fried. Just nicely ask them to take it back and get you a new one. On page 3, take charge of what's around you. So this is really contingent upon being in a restaurant is really what it's related to. So say that you're in a group of 5 people. You want to be that first person to order because, say that Sally over here wanted to order, side of fries, wants to order an appetizer, wants to order all of these unhealthy choices, but you were already planning on, getting this chicken salad or, something else on it, or, you're picking a healthy option. So what you want to do is really order first, set the tone, and then everyone else will follow, hopefully. Especially with dessert. They bring that dessert menu out later and they're like, well, do you guys want to try dessert? And if one person tries it, most likely the whole table gets dessert. Another thing that I want to go through is number 4, so choose foods carefully. There's some terms here to help you when you're looking at different menus, looking at different recipes. So when you see these terms, it's about in the middle of the page here. So breaded, Parmesan, cheese sauce, a pastry, scalloped, different options like that, that's usually leading to high fat and high calorie foods. So if you see that already on the underneath description for that food, I would avoid it if you can, or ask them to cook it differently. Now there is some words here for low fat and low calorie options, and I would always look at those, and if that is an option, choose that over some of these other ones. So steamed, roasted, stir-fried, grilled, anything like that. Some tips, I would always watch for sauces, as mentioned before. Think about what you really need to eat that day. So think about how hungry you are. Don't just order, whatever because you think it's good. Think about if you actually need a full meal right then, if you're out with friends, or think about if you would even think about getting an appetizer instead of getting a full meal. Another thing is you can trim some visible fat off the meat. I know that fat always holds all the ingredients and tastes better, but if you just trim that fat off, you're already taking a certain amount of fat from your diet away. Another thing is trim or take the skin off the chicken. So that is a lot of calories that you guys don't really notice, or fat. And I just want to go through, we're going to do a group exercise in a little bit. So I want to go through different scenarios. So say that you're going through a fast food drive-thru, let's say. You can actually ask for your coffee with low-fat milk instead of regular milk. You can ask for your ketchup, ranch, mayo, everything on the side for your sandwiches, as mentioned. You can be the first to order in your car. So if you have family members who are like, I want to order on this, I want a Frosty with a side of fries and all this stuff, order first and maybe they'll follow you. You can also ask for the regular size, as I mentioned. You can ask for them to substitute your size. So I know that McDonald's, for fact, is now serving apple slices instead of your normal side of fries for at least the kids' menu. I know that for sure. Or yogurt. I know they have a yogurt parfait. It might not be, it's going to be better than the fried French fries, but it might not be the perfect option, of course. And then we have at other restaurants, so these local restaurants such as Soho's or even the Bluegrass Kitchen here, that's another option. You can call ahead, see what's on their menu. I know that local restaurants actually have different menus depending on their week, depending on their month. So you can get their menu before you even show up. And they do need to provide you guys with nutritional information. It is a requirement through certain states that they need to provide that for you. And I know especially fast food and chain restaurants, they have that available for you guys now. You can also Substitute, so like I said, you can get a tossed salad instead of fries. You can ask for, you know how like when you go to Olive Garden, there is bread rolls on your table automatically. Or if you go to a Mexican restaurant, they're bringing out your chips and salsa. You can either have a portion of it and then tell them to take it away before you eat the entire thing. Or you can ask them, I know it is hard, or you can ask them to even not bring it out in general. Like if you don't want those calories and you want to save it for your meal, you can definitely ask them. Not happening. And then the third thing that you guys normally do is go to a friend's house or a family member's house. It is the hardest. Like I said, bring something. You can also eat before you go, before you even show up, so you know that you're not going to be starving when you get there. Say no thank you. I know it's very hard, but you can say no thank you to some of the food items. I know that they usually have an entire table like we do today for a potluck. Just choose a couple options, go through the line first, see what you want before you take an entire plate of stuff that you might not even eat or that you might not like, and you're just putting calories into your body pretty much. Another thing you can do is choose a smaller plate. So if the smaller your plate is, the less food you can put on your plate. And I know that we've said to have an 8-inch plate. I know the plate's a little bit bigger today, but there's no way for you guys to fit all your turkey on that. You can also choose to sit further away from, like such as a friend that eats more than you. So you can choose to sit like in the corner or, you know, just away from the food items in general so you don't go back for more as often. So I know that some of you probably fly. How many people usually fly in an airplane here? A couple of you? Okay, so for flights over, I think it is 3 hours or so, you get served a meal. And I have actually called ahead before and had them have me a special menu so then I didn't have to have their option because it might not be as healthy as, you know, an option that I would want. So I had them have me a chicken salad rather than having, you know, a sandwich with, you know, a side of chips or whatever. You can also say no thank you to their peanuts or crackers or anything. Most likely their plain snacks are not very healthy for you. So you can bring your own snacks on the plane. That's another option. I know once you're up there, you're like, oh, I should have did this, or I should have did that. But they are going to be able to serve you water. They can give you a special menu ahead of time, and you can bring your own snacks. So always think about that. For banquets and conferences, I actually just went to a recent conference. This past conference didn't give me my option of food. But usually in my spring conference, I can call in and ask them what the options are for different events. Like we'll have a little social gathering in the evening. You can ask them what they're going to have, just so you know if you even want to eat there. If they don't have healthy options, then I would suggest eating before you're going, or maybe afterwards. And you can also prepare, you know, a small meal before you go, just in case. Or you can ask, like, if they can serve you at low fat or low calorie options. Sometimes they will. And I just want to go into going back to your menu. So I gave you a little bit of knowledge of where I think I'm going with different things I'm eating out. So what you're going to do is actually have the calorie and fat and all of that on your carbs, protein, anything that you would want to put on your label. You're basically going to go down, calculate your calories of the meal that you first ordered at the beginning, and then you're going to either revise that option, either making that option healthier or choosing a new option that you think better fits you. I think a lot more people have Bob Evans, right?
Shirley? Thank you.
Really, I think a lot more have Bob Evans.
I had chili.
Oh, you need chili. And we'll help you calculate. And this is easier than the keeping track booklet. I'm giving it to you straight on.
Yeah, I've got the,
You think you want to keep your option? Is that yours?
I use one off the other one.
So like I said, you keep your option and revise it, or choose a new option.
my favorite.
So, there was supposed to be 10 of each.
Can anyone share a Bob Evans nutritional with someone else?
Sure.
Oh, like, both of you have one that you can share.
Yeah.
We'll help them. If you guys want to help me
Here we
walk
go.
around and help them calculate that. What are yours? Using your same option? What you'll do is calculate what you got.
There.
It's not.
You guys find your stuff?
I've got.
Everything that you picked out.
Just have that. Yeah.
So probably the case of freshman that adds the calories to it, because it's 600, how much is the regular salad? So that's probably.
If that's your company,
Well,
But I don't see it here. You got food on that. They have it
I
online.
think it's the same. It's not?
This one doesn't have.
This one is there to say.
okay.
Okay.
I remember looking it up last week.
On the book?
Yeah, it's the same.
Oh.
So that would be already done that.
It's not the walk, that's the chip walk calories, it's really going to be a lot.
This is shocking.
You guys, yours, you have it's on here.
Oh, right here.
Oh, you found it?
Yeah, this is help you. That might help you.
What's it under?
Whatever.
It's right, it's above this. This is. See, the way it was written, it's confusing. Okay, so there's without, oh, wait, that's base.
Okay, I can give you that. It's just for you to see, you know, the difference.
Hey, okay, this is actually what we already have. God. You know, and I didn't think I was gonna take that much,
Got 130 grams of One side is 110 milligrams.
They do that already. And that's why we can't run the calories either, because they change it all the time.
Milligrams.
Anybody else need help? What did you get?
yeah.
Yes. Probably because the cake service on top of it.
Because it's
Got it? How did it go?
Well, they changed the menu, farmer's market. So I had to.
Well, the transit, that should be 60,000.
And after you looked up,
So that's actually better.
Farmer's market?
garlic off.
This is how. So that's the shell, or I guess the egg omelet shell, and then this is, I guess, low calorie, but it says down here, low calorie, high calorie. You usually get just 4 grams.
That's all.
I don't know if they.
Yeah, see, you want to say?
Overall, yeah.
That's why she was everything. It's insane.
I mean, if I eat 3 tortillas,
Okay. Did you look at your goal? Well, you know, like right here, the Western ones, they just add like, they don't have 28 adding like different salsa and stuff like that.
Plus a couple of chips or 3,000.
well, then, and it makes you thirsty,
And that's
so
what
you're
you're
not
in
drinking more
the
beer.
beginning. Okay. That would be a little saltier. Maybe going with the low calorie.
Because you gotta drink beer. No, you drink more water, so save calories from that.
7 grams of carbs.
Yeah, harm reduction, harm reduction.
All right.
I'm not even worried about sugar, but I'm worried about the sodium.
It's a lot, so it's all seasonings.
If you prepare the same dish at home, you
It would be a fraction of that.
you'd be fine.
All right, is everyone good? You're close to good? All right, I would like a couple of you to share what you got beforehand, and then now what you've ordered or what you've revised. So who would like to share? Go ahead.
I actually ate this last week at Bob's, or this week. The Cobb salad, thinking that it was healthy and a good choice, has the grilled chicken on it and so forth. But once you add the blue cheese dressing and so forth, I'm at, over 900 calories and over 70 grams of fat. So, I changed it and I got the grilled chicken breast.
Grilled chicken breast? And how many calories did you find for that?
440 and 8 grams of
So
fat.
you saved about 500 calories or so just by,
And the fat grams are just.
Yeah. a lot better. What about somebody else? I know Ann stayed the same. She picked the healthy option. And we did.
Which sounded good.
Yeah, sounded good. Yep. What was your option again? Just
Oh, mine was the potato crusted flounder.
flounder?
Oh,
And it was
It is
baked.
good, I've had it.
Yeah, Bob Evans.
yeah, so.
It's better than,
What about anybody else?
You eat at Chili's, and you have high blood pressure, I wouldn't eat there.
I'm finding the same thing.
Their sodium is like in the thousands.
I just